My name's Taylor Steele. I'm a filmmaker, founder of Salento Tequila, Hume ambassador, and I'm just going to show you around some of my junk that I've collected over the years. I just can't throw things away, so come check it out. This session's my favorite session of all time. It was right before the search contest went down to Mexico, and it was like a week before. There was 3 guys out. It was double overhead. Best waves I've ever surfed. Whenever I think about it, it always comes flooding back of how magical it was. Here's a gift from my friend Richard Phillips. It's from a project we did together for the Gagosian Museum. This piece about, just sort of fame and what happens to you with a lot of fame. And so I did a video that went with it with the editor for Requiem for a Dream and scored by Daft Punk. So this was an amazing project that was very out of my comfort zone for New York Gagosian. Here's one of the first Leelas that sort of came back after, it was sort of, not really seen for a long time. Machado actually put a leash on it so that he could surf Uluwatu with this. And he was ripping on it. Still has his wax on it. I always like the feel of film. It feels classic and it gives you just this tone that you don't necessarily get with a lot of digital stuff. A lot of the things that I've been leaning towards is have a little bit more timeless feel, or feel like you don't know if it's today or it happened 50 years ago. So these things allow that, but they're expensive and annoying to use for lighting. I use this for when I was editing Momentum, Focus, Good Times. I was using this to do graphics. It sort of was in between two tapes, and you would lay it onto the master tape. I bet it still works. I haven't powered it up in a long time. This would be 1992 to 95, I would guess. My Bolex camera that I shot Sipping Jet Streams, Castles in the Sky, Drifter, a lot of projects that when I was trying to change my style from being sort of high performance film, digital high 8 to film, all the stuff that I was filming, it made me just shoot it differently. I had to be more conscious of composition, content, and just what I was trying to accomplish. So this is from Surfer Poll. Surfer Magazine used to do these award shows, and for a long time I didn't enter them because I didn't think the judging and all that was accurate of what was going on. So I sort of had a boycott for 10 years. And finally they changed the way that the judging happened, and I entered and won for Castles in the Sky with this one. Making Sipping Jet Streams and Castles in the Sky, our goal was to show the world in a romantic view that my daughters would be excited to visit the world. So I'm hoping that that's what it does. So thank you guys. And it meant a lot more at that time because it sort of, I feel like I was part of the change of their process at the time to make it fair and authentic. So I was lucky enough to be a part of this HBO film, Momentum Generation, on the history of my friends. We were lucky enough to win a sports Emmy. That was a huge honor, and we were definitely surprised that we got it. Sipping Jet Streams, we did this coffee table book, which I'm super proud of. Really high quality images from this photographer, Dustin Humphrey, who was on every trip with me, and we just sort of did this project together. But the idea is how do you approach books and do something different and elevated? And it's sort of the idea is to try to elevate surfing and give it a more sophisticated feel. When I started, it was always Spicoli feeling, and my whole journey was sort of giving surfing a more, sophisticated tone, diverse tone, I guess. Drive-through series were some more ones that we were just trying to do something different, show the fun of travel. Our crew in general, they got so famous, and it was really easy to have a serious tone to their career. So the more that I could show the fun and relatable side, the better. And so some of these were, Drive-through was an example of that. Here's my lens that I use for pretty much all my movies. It's a 70s Canon lens, 600 millimeter. Some of my favorite moments were shooting soup bowls with Kelly Slater. It was sort of a highlight for both of us. It was like our pinnacle, best waves he's ever surfed. He was surfing some of the best I've ever seen, and I was filming it after both of us have gone there 5 times. I started collecting some of these boards just over the years, and as I kept doing it, I realized how I wanted to collect some from each project. Usually there's some iconic moments like this board of Andy Irons. It's the best I've ever seen him surf at Keramis in Bali. He was just on fire, and he just left the board when he left Bali. So I was living there at the time, so I got that one. Yeah, all these boards have some stories that are special to me, at least. This Aussie Wright painted this board. He stole my board, broke it, painted it to sort of so I wouldn't notice. And this is from supposedly his last year on tour, Kelly. That was now 4 years ago. I've known Kelly since we were like 14, 15. Always filming and doing stuff. And you know, when you're filming, you're start the conversations about performance and how to, you know, what we need for the video is probably helpful for his surfing in general. So we'd have these conversations a lot on that side of it. And full circle, 30 years later, he asked me to go to Brazil with him and be his caddy, which I've never done anything like that before. And being a caddy, you sort of sit on the beach with his backup board and you tell him like what your thoughts are on the conditions and whatnot. He went out there, he was surfing against Philippe. The jet ski had a crash, broke his board. He had to come in. I had to run through the crowd with his board and give him his board. And then he's like, what's the status? What do I need? Philippe got a wave. I didn't know what the score was, so I had to guess his score and then tell him what he would need to sort of counter it. I was pretty close on my guess. And then he ran out. So it was like this high stress energy of it all, which was fun, but I wouldn't want to do it for a career. All right, here's my personal collection of boards. Got this one, the Dave Rostovich model, Dead Kooks, couple skip fries. This one is a great board, really good condition, but the airlines just crushed it. So now I got to figure out what to do with that, whether I give the tail this new design or if I try to get it back to where it was. These boards are dangerously fun, but you ride them too much and then you surf like an old man. This one's Machado shape board. My friend Todd DeCurcio did the art on it. There's a skip fry back there. Yeah, I have a problem throwing stuff away. There's more boards everywhere, actually. There's multi-layers to them all. Yeah, I feel like surfboards are like golf club. When the conditions are right, you want a certain board for that. That's my theory on how many boards I have. And this is where they go to die.